In early 2021, Sandra Birchmore was a 23-year-old mom-to-be who was over the moon, as a family member put it, about the child that she had just conceived with her boyfriend. She was planning to tell the world in a social media post on Valentine's Day, but she never did, because 10 days before Valentine's Day, on February 4th, Sandra Birchmore was found dead on the floor of her Canton, Massachusetts apartment, with a luggage strap cinched around her neck and the other end tied to a doorknob. Authorities called the death self-inflicted. But Sandra's family said hardly. And investigators soon uncovered that her short life was filled with red flags from the age of 12. That's when Sandra joined a youth program run by the police in the neighboring town of Stoughton, Massachusetts. That's where she met an instructor cop named Matthew Farwell, who allegedly groomed Sandra and abused her for at least 8 years. At least 2 other Stoughton cops also had inappropriate relations with Sandra during that time, and that's according to the department's own investigation. But only Matthew became her boyfriend, and only Matthew became the father of her baby, and only Matthew, who was married with 3 other kids, allegedly murdered Sandra to shut her up. The smoking gun in this case? Thousands and thousands of text messages documenting Matthew's dirty little secret. At age 15, Sandra texts, quote, "I'm glad you agreed to take my virginity." Farwell says, he says, "Me too," is his response. He's in his late 20s at this point, I should say. He goes on to say, "LOL, if I pushed, I absolutely could have effed you without condoms from day one." Sandra says, "Probably if you really pushed it." She writes again, "I was kind of scared to say no in the beginning, not knowing how you'd take it. So yeah, you would have got no condoms, LOL." Years go by and the texts get a lot darker, especially when Sandra threatens to out their relationship to Matthew Farwell's wife. The texting goes on until the last night of Sandra Birchmore's life. At 9:08 that night, Farwell texts that he's, quote, "coming by for a second," end quote. Which brings me to another smoking gun, this surveillance video of Matthew Farwell entering Sandra's apartment 20 minutes later, and then leaving 30 minutes after that. Yeah, that's not good. Matthew Farwell is charged in federal court with 1 count of killing a witness or victim. And all of this gave me a whole lot to talk about with a criminal defense attorney and one sharp cookie, Sara Azari. I mean, I need a shower, right? After reading that, Sara, I need a shower. It's so disgusting. And I'm not so far off your average juror, so how damning is this stuff?
They are damning, Ashleigh, because look, a defense attorney is going to come in and say, okay, this was just some dirty fantasy. Maybe it was even sex with a minor, but he's charged with murdering a victim of a crime. And that's why these text messages are damning and relevant, because you've got 2 layers of crime here. The prosecution is saying a crime occurred, which was the child abuse, child molestation, and therefore there's a victim of crime, which is the deceased Sandra, and then he murdered that victim. So you need both of the sets of conduct. You need the motive to murder, and you need the crime itself, which is the child molestation. And so I think they're really important, Ashleigh, especially the text messages that are with third parties about his violence, about how he turned on her when she became pregnant and she started making demands about the birth of her child, and he just wasn't having it. It was not the same anymore. And so you really have a strong motive in these text messages of why he would want her dead.
So again, I mean, the whole story of their text messaging is long and illustrious, and it's painful to read it. I am going to read one more clip because, again, this is what jurors are going to hear, presumably, right? Unless there's some deal. Farwell says, "What was the first day you said, OMG, I want this guy to be my first. I want to feel him inside me?" And Sandra answers, "Yeah, so 2012, I finally decided that I was going to try and find a way to F you, and just wasn't sure how. How did you feel when I asked to make your dream come true?" Farwell answers, amazing. And Sandra says, good. Farwell says, I absolutely would have effed you in 12. Sandra says, 12? He says, 2012. So, you know, I already asked you, how do you get over the fact that the jury is just going to despise him, right? They're just going to despise him and want him to go down for something. But won't they be also wondering why no stat rape charge? Like, she was 14 and 15 in ninth grade that year. And won't the jury be saying, I don't get it. Why is this murder? Where's the statutory rape charges?
Well, the murder is the bigger charge, and so the jury will have to decide that a crime occurred, which is the statutory rape. He's not being charged with that crime, but in order to get to murdering the victim of a crime, you need to find that he was guilty of a crime or he committed a crime. And that's where all of this matters. And you know what, Ashleigh? The other thing that stood out to me is that he not only was so specific about what they had done. It wasn't just this sort of hypothetical conversation about sex acts. It was like, recitation of facts that actually occurred. But also the fact that it's clear from those text messages that he wanted her because of her age. That there was this, there was this attraction, or the sexual attraction was disgusting. It's disgusting. So there is statutory rape, and she is the victim of that statutory rape, which makes this a victim of a murder. And again, a lot of motive here.
I'm out of time, but I just wanted to read this. In February, Farwell describes pinning Birchmore down during sex and asking her, will you say, Matt, stop, I'm 13, I'm not ready for this. OMFG, please stop. Like, he wants to fantasize about this. And then the FBI investigator said he'd reviewed a lot of other texts where Farwell had instructed Birchmore to act as though her brother were coming in to have sex with her. I mean, just it's all so vile.
Yeah. And just one more thing, I think the text also established that there's a propensity for violence, because, this is like references to violent sex. Good point. So I think, that also goes into the whole strangulation issue, the cause of death.
A trial date for Matthew Farwell has not yet been set, but we'll be on it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.